This episode of the podcast is sponsored by my book, We Stand on the Shoulders of Titans, Amnesia. Happy 2026. After the Christmas days and the New Year's days, today we're going to be talking about health because it's most likely most people would have gained some weight, some people in kilograms, some people in pounds, and some people in stones if you're using those type of measurements. That being said, for myself, I did gain like I don't know 3 kilograms. Lost it again in like 2 3 weeks because I keep pretty much track of like what I do in the gym a lot. Health very important for me. But what about you two? What have you been up to during Christmas and New Year?
Stuff on my
Well,
face.
Fair enough.
quite the opposite of a healthy diet then. Well, I've been on a bit of a health kick as well, and I think as you said there, it is everybody's goal. I think after New Year they kind of get on a health kick. But yeah, I mean, not stuffing my face, trying desperately not to stuff my face because I'm at the age now where a lot of my health is affected by what I'm eating, what I'm doing, and you can suffer these things at any age. People can come down with diabetes. I've seen 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds with it because of current diets and things like that just now. But yeah, need to focus on my health more so now because I'm getting older, and yeah, it's just not a good place to be if you're overweight and you've got diabetes. You want to live as long as you can.
I wish I could go back in time to my last day of school and just say to my 16-year-old self, just go to the gym at least once a week. I was really athletic and fit when I was a kid. But then as soon as I left school, I fell into the trap of being a lazy bastard.
Yeah.
And luckily I've never gotten like very noticeably fat, but I have obviously I basically got a dad bod. But yeah, that's 20 years of neglect catching up with me now. It's like I really should do something about it.
But do you think you really need a gym? I mean, let's be honest here, right? We have walking, we can do walking, and as long as we're taking care of our diet and at least getting some exercise, then we should be of a healthy weight. You
Well,
know.
think of it this way: when were gyms invented?
Well, exactly. It's a modern day
Yeah,
invention, really.
yeah. So it's,
I
yeah,
mean,
so
do
it's
you know
like
what
yeah,
the treadmill was invented for? The treadmill was invented to keep prisoners
I mean, we're
powering.
talking about when were gyms invented, right? I'm just gonna be historical here. It was invented like I don't know 2,000, 3,000 years ago.
yeah.
Gyms have been
But when
around for a
but
very long time.
yeah, but when were humans invented?
Well,
Uh,
yeah,
Long before that. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's relatively recent. So yeah, the thing is we don't need gyms. It's a way of getting people to keep fit in the modern day
yeah,
because we have become extremely lazy,
yeah.
myself
That
And
is
included.
one thing, right? The gyms were actually functioning on people subscribing, but they're not showing up. That's kind of their business model. It keeps the people who actually go to have an affordable like package, and for the people that sign up and not attend, I don't even know. Like it's just like some
There's
guilt tripping, I guess. So that's what you're getting at, right? Like we invented like
there's
the
a
modern day version.
there's a fun one though. I at my local gym, I did this for a bit. Um, you don't do a subscription; you just do a monthly fee, where you just pay at the start of the month, and then you go whenever you want, and there's no obligation to keep paying the next month and so on, which is a really
that's
good
quite
way.
handy.
So I mean, I stopped doing it after a while, but I did it for about a year. This is about 6 years ago now, but yeah, it's like I just pay a subscription for the month, get free gym access for the month, and then just renew it the next month. So it was like a 1 month rolling contract. It was really good.
Kind of like a
Free,
pay as
quote
you go.
unquote.
What?
You still paid for it, so it's not free, right?
No, you know what I mean. Though I don't have to
Yeah,
pay every time I go to the gym.
you
You,
got all
you, you
access,
know,
full access.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Stop quibbling.
yeah. But it's more like when it comes down to health, because there is a lot of people, especially like bodybuilders, who go to the gym, who don't actually understand like the importance of like the actual construct of your body. Like let's take a football player like Haaland, the most famous
I've
football
got,
player right now, I would say.
I have
Who?
a better one for you actually. Um, compare
No, I need
bodybuilders
Haaland for
to.
this example. No, I need Haaland for this example.
Go on then.
Bodybuilders don't really matter in this context because like Haaland has a YouTube channel now, and I watched some of his videos, which actually is quite insightful from the physiotherapy standpoint, because Haaland isn't very flexible, but he started doing these flexible exercises with his physiotherapist, and he started being able to pull off moves that he couldn't do previously. And based on that information, he told his physio, like, let's do this more often. Like, let's get actually that flexibility going. Even in like boxing, like actual sports, what people often forget is it's a package deal. Like, for example, I did boxing and I do yoga as well, which makes it so that my body is capable of turning extremely well, but I'm also able to pull off like very powerful blows just because of how flexible I am. Whereas people that do full bodybuilding, they're able to do like stiff punches, which is easier to avoid more often than not. And it's easier to punish. Like Mike Tyson, for what it's worth, was a very flexible fighter. And he had an enormous right hand, right? And that is the package deal. Like when it comes to physical health, something that almost never gets talking about is the fact that you need flexibility, you need strength, and you need endurance as a regular adult.
Well,
What?
that's why I was going to say. Instead of comparing it to football with bodybuilders, compare bodybuilders to weightlifters. You compare it to the world's strongest man competitions. They look completely different, but I put my money down on the fighters from the weightlifting, because they might, a lot of them might just look like very rotund, and they look more fat than muscle.
Yeah.
But
But I was more going for the example of Haaland being able to do certain shots that he couldn't do before he was flexible. That's kind of like the look I was going for, that people need to understand
but
how important
but
flexibility is.
yeah, but same thing is that the like the world, the weightlifters can do things that the bodybuilders can't do,
Oh, yeah,
because
I agree.
it's completely, it's form over function in that. I mean, it looks good, but yeah, it's nowhere near. It's like bottom tier of uh bottom tier of, like, well, bodybuilding basically. So if you
Yep.
want a proper body, that you want it to be able to do things, which is where you get the, aesthetically, I'm saying that with quotes, ugly um, weightlifters, but they could pull a bloody truck with the teeth. That's how strong they are, you know.
Yep.
Well, they say if you're going to do a healthy diet, you should incorporate some kind of strength training into your diet,
But you
because
need
at the
that,
end of the
don't
day, the
you?
more, yeah, the more muscle you have, the more you're going to burn throughout the day. Your body, to maintain, its energy reserves, it's going to burn more, kind of thing. So
It's also
it's important to
posture.
have muscle mass. Yeah, exactly.
Huh?
If you're working out your back,
Posture.
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
if you work out your
Because,
back and things like that, you're building strength there, and you're going to be able to stand up tall.
My
And
posture is atrocious.
well,
yeah.
yeah, same here. I mean, I sit horribly when in seats. I always sit slouched. When you shouldn't really sit slouched, you should always sit with your back straight.
No,
But not
it's not
everybody's going to do that.
sustainable, Dave. Like,
Yeah, no,
this is
not
more
everybody's
of
going to do that.
a lot of people will use this excuse. Oh, you need to sit straight. Like, good luck. I would like to see you try, because our
Yeah.
It's like
bodies are not
your
built for that in
body's
the first place.
yeah, your body's going to give out. You need to move around a bit, don't you?
Exactly. That's why people get standing desks. So I have a standing desk, and so I can do both.
Oh,
I
I
can
should
sit
get
and I
one
can
of those.
stand. They're
I
very
should
cheap.
get
I got
one
one
of
from
those.
IKEA.
Oh,
So
nice.
basically,
Yeah,
like
but
you
you
want a
live in the
variation.
land of IKEA, though, so of course you did.
Wait, what? I'm not Swedish.
You're close enough. You all sound Swedish to me.
I'm closer to you than I am to Sweden. What do you mean? It's logic.
Brilliant.
But yeah, like the idea is just the reason, because it was before, like when I started university, that was like, I don't know, like 10 years ago now, 12 years ago, 12 years ago. Yeah, that's a long ass time ago. And when I started university, like one of the things that went around during physiotherapy, it was the sitting issue, right? And during this period, they were like, there's the skippy ball that you can sit up because it's active movement. So when you're sitting on a ball that forces you to be capable of sitting whilst moving around, it keeps the core muscles activated and makes sure that not necessarily your posture gets better, but it's a healthier way of sitting. but it doesn't solve the problem. Like, so even in that, there have been like a lot of discussions on like how to approach this type of things. And for some people, it does work to sit on a skippy ball. Assuming everyone knows what
Right.
that is, right? Like it's a
I
ball
mean, does
weight.
that build your core? A
Is
lot
that
of
is
your
that one of
core
those
muscles?
big yoga bouncy balls?
Yeah, it's a bouncy ball that you can like when I best when I was a child that had these things you can hold them with your hands and you could bounce around.
Yeah, they the space hoppers. I know those. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
had
posted
one of
it in the
those when I
chat,
was a kid.
so you have a better visualization of what it is. This is what it is, but then bigger, so you could actually sit on it and you would not really fall off. And for a lot of people, especially people with lower back issues, that would work just fine. But the issue remains, is that's most reality. But the issue remains like we're not made to sit. We're just not made to sit. And the combination of a standing desk, potentially with a skippy ball or just a regular chair like Herman Miller, but that's extremely expensive, obviously,
Oh
that
yeah.
could work.
I
But that's
want to get
something people
myself
have
a
a lot
space
of.
hopper now.
I mean, it is better for you, like especially as you get older and you haven't worked out often. Like posture fixing is one of the core tenets that we get in physiotherapy, like especially for older people, because for the past 40 years, something around that, people have been either doing very brutal physical work that's not good for their body, or they've just been sitting in a crucible for like 24/7, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
And both of them have been horrible for the human body. But we're trying to fix that issue, obviously, and standing desk is definitely the way to go because you can variation it and like standing in general if you do it with the right posture. And this is actually sustainable doing it with posture. And then whenever you feel like it's too much, you can sit back down and then you can relax a little bit and then you can stand up back up again. This is something that is sustainable throughout the day. And like if you're on a car, for example, like if you do car work, you could just walk around in front of your desk, which is also extremely good for you. Like, is that combination of like actually building all of these things that all go hand in hand? But it remains to the issue of like the reason I'm playing on flexibility because for posture, strength obviously does most of the work when it comes to posture, but also flexibility because if you have very stiff muscles, a good example of what I would often get was someone like cases when I was still doing my internship in hospital, someone would come in with a very stiff neck. So even though he was strong, so let's say a weightlifter, he still had headache very often, and this just came from the neck being so stiff that it could barely walk around. And this is those kind of issues where you need a combination of multiple things, not just for like the overall health of yourself, also just for your mental health. Because if you have a constant headache caused by the fact that your neck is just so stiff that moving it around just causes your head to go, nope, we're not doing this right now. That's also going to be horrible for your mental health, right?
Hmm.
Hmm.
And that is
Yeah.
the build-up. Like it's a long, atrocious problem. Like something that we often get told is in your 20s, if you're feeling a pain and you're ignoring then, in your 30s, that pain is gonna ask for revenge. Because a
Yeah.
problem ignored then is a problem that comes back with a vengeance.
I'm
Yeah.
starting to feel that now. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And how much people do you think like lose work through, just having pain and stuff like that, being in pain because
quite a lot.
they've not been treating their body right?
Yeah,
It'll probably be surprising the amount of people if you see like people on long-term sickness and stuff like that. How,
I'm seeing that. Yeah.
they've treated their body for years and years, mistreated their body for years and years, and then it just catches up with them eventually. And
they'll
they're
blame the
unable to work.
system. That also doesn't help, right? So it's like mental
Yeah.
Well,
plus physical plus blaming outwards.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm one of those people. I have let years of neglect catch up with me.
Yeah.
Although I do book the trend of I completely blame myself because
Yeah.
it's
Well,
only
that's
my own
That's good.
fault.
so you need to take it. You need to take accountability for your own health at the end of the day. And for the things that you can do, but you chose not to do. That's
Yeah,
the most
I
important
chose to
part.
be a lazy bastard once I left school.
Yeah, same. You know what I mean? I chose to be a lazy bastard as well, and it's now I'm
I
living with
didn't.
the consequences of that.
Oh, stop
Yeah,
showing
you're a
off.
very fit and healthy person. Show off, you know.
Yeah, man. I've been like a solid 81 to 82 kilos for like 14 years now. Eating consistently good for like 14 years now. Doing
Yeah.
exercise, yoga. Like, I feel amazing. I'm currently at my current age, like I'm 32. I feel better than I felt 10 years ago. And that's just because
Wow.
of consistency.
Yeah.
I've just been consistent about my own body that I've just gotten so accumulated to how I feel that at some point I'm just like, I feel great when I wake up, right?
Yeah.
But that also brings you to another point. When I was 23, I got a blood test done where
Right.
vitamins were actually a huge problem. Like in my family, absorbing vitamin D is very difficult in my family, which is
Right.
quite normal for, well, white people because, the reason we are white is a lack of melatonin in the first place, right?
Mhm. Well, I think they
And
say as well, if you're
we don't
ginger.
get the most. Yeah, we don't get the most sun anyway, do we?
Exactly. So when I was 23, like when I was in university, I had this blood test, and they were like, "Yeah, your vitamin D levels are extremely low," and we're talking like low to the point where they had to give me these like actual prescribed vitamin D things, like these, how do you call it, these tubes loaded with vitamin D that you just have to like drink. That is how
Do
bad
they
my
taste?
vitamin D problem was.
Do they
They taste
taste good?
awful. They taste awful. They
I'm
taste
probably
so
gonna have to do
bad.
something like. I'm probably gonna have to do something like that myself because I hardly ever
No,
get
you
out the
just need a
house.
pill. You just need a
Well, maybe a
pill.
pill, but I either way, I hardly ever get out the house because I'm again lazy bastard. So
Yeah. But the issues that I was experiencing back then were like concentration issues, brain fog, like overall sleep quality was pretty poor. Then after like 6 months of that, and then I had to switch to regular pills. Well, pills, whatever you want to call it, like just over the counter, from the pharmacy, vitamin D pills,
yeah,
right? Like after that, I just started feeling great. So even in that period, there was a period where I felt worse. It's just because like vitamin issues actually do lead to a lot of issues. Like I hear a lot of people talking about concentration problems and stuff like that, and then I think about my own situation. I'm like, isn't it just a vitamin issue more than not? Because people are like, oh, I just need to take like these fucking drugs and all of that stuff. But I'm like, do we really need to go that far, or is it just a lack of vitamins?
Mm, mm. But then, I think a lot of people, because of the nature of work nowadays, don't get a lot of like vitamin D and stuff like that. Because of work
Likely, yeah.
schedules.
that
You know.
that's I mean that's a fair point, but you've also got to realize that you're only unless you are a massive workaholic, you're only gonna be working for like what a third to a half of the day. You've still got half of the day to do other stuff.
Yeah, that's very true. That's
Keep in
very
mind,
true.
like even when the sun goes down, there's still vitamin D. Like you still get
Yeah.
UVA rays on
Well,
like
you got the moon as well.
yeah,
It's like
exactly. So there's still some vitamin D. We just absorb it very poorly as white people. That's just a reality.
Hmm. What about today's diets? I mean, do you think it's possible to get all the vitamins and minerals you need in today's diets? Because I don't know about you over there, but we in the UK have a lot of processed food. And it's easier to pick up processed food than it is to pick up fresh food. Well,
it's
I find anyway.
convenience, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's
And it's actually
convenient, but
interesting that you're
I mean, it's
bringing this up.
cheaper. It's cheaper because a lot of people don't have the money to buy fresh food now.
But it's interesting that you're bringing this up because today is actually the day where I went through my yearly finances. So I was like checking like everything. Like, oh, is this fine? This fine? This fine? This one? Where can I save money? Stuff like that. And one of the things that then I came to was food, obviously, because I eat a lot of chicken. Go figure, right?
Right.
And chicken
Protein,
is
protein.
extremely expensive over here right now. Like we're talking, I don't know how to say this in pounds. So I'm just going to use kilos. Like for like a kilo, you're easily gone €8, which is extremely
Right.
Yeah,
expensive for
Yeah,
just a
it's
little
quite
bit of chicken.
expensive.
And one of the things that we have over here, and I'm pretty sure England has this as well, is farmers markets.
yeah.
So I could save a ton of money just going to the farmers market on my bicycle. So that means exercise plus, going there. Especially if you go during nearing the closing time. So nearing the closing times, they will sell you things not for dirt cheap, but barely at a loss, I would say. Just because this is the last moment they're still going to be open, and if they don't sell it right now, they're going to have to throw it away.
Right.
So with eggs, for example, I save so much money on eggs. Like it's insane how much money I save on eggs going there.
Mm. It's
The
funny
other thing
because
is, go on.
sorry, I was going to say the supermarkets here do that as well. Like if they're got something that's going to go shelf life, then they will sell it extremely cheap. So you could end up getting a kilo of chicken for about £2 or something like that.
That's
you know,
luck,
as
though.
long as you
That's
pick up.
luck.
Yeah, that is very luck. You know what I mean? But there is people who go out at that time of night to make sure they get those deals, and then they'll just
Yeah,
cook up that chicken at that time of night. You know what I mean? And just use it on the day.
yeah.
Saves them a
So
bunch of money.
that saves me a lot of money. Plus, like I always eat my vegetables fresh because fresh is just 10 times better than frozen. Just because the vitamins in there are just way more open. Because
Well, fresh.
when they freeze their foods, they're going to add things like salt and stuff like that. They just have
Yeah.
to because it's for conserving the food. So I buy the vegetables from them. I buy the eggs from them. I don't drink milk anymore, but even when I still did, I bought milk there as well. And that's where you really save the money, like going to the farmers market. In the
Yeah.
supermarket, I would get chicken if I'm lazy, because the butcher is a bit further away. Because this is the thing, right? If you go to the butcher, it's cheaper as well. Like
Really?
we've been so used to the idea of everything being in one place. It's similar with delivery, right? Like you go to Amazon and everything's there. You get so used to it that you forget that there's actual like specializing places that are way better. That's one, and cheaper because they are competing with supermarkets. It's the same with bread. If you go to the bakery to get bread, it's cheaper than in the supermarket. Well, not
Wow.
always. Like it just depends on which one you get because mass production of bread actually does beat bakery from time to time. It just depends on what type of bread you like. So whenever I'm hearing like these conversations, I'm like, so where do you do all your? I'm doing it at this supermarket, which then happens to be one of the more expensive ones as well. And I'm trying to think of okay, so the difference between me and you is hundreds of euros per year just because
Yeah.
I do my due diligence of just knowing where to get my meat and where to get my groceries and where to get my eggs.
Hmm.
Like it's just something in the Netherlands and England as well. We're small countries and we're very reliant on the farmers. And if you know where the farmers go to sell their product before they sell it to like a corporation, that's where you get the real deals.
Yeah. You're on a winner then.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like it's also where I live.
Ah,
Like I live way in the north and I'm like outside of my city is nothing but farmland.
Right. Okay. So what kind of what kind of veg do you eat then to keep yourself healthy? Healthy? Do you eat more leafy
sprouts.
greens or
No, I don't sprout.
sprouts? Oh, oh,
Like my
sprouts is
favorite
not good.
food is Dutch's national dish. Like it's boerenkool, stampend boerenkool, which is kale, like potato with kale.
Okay, kale's very good, is it not
Yeah,
for things,
green
right?
vegetables are all good. Like I
Yeah.
get spinach or kale or
I
broccoli.
like kale.
Those are like my top three.
Oh, I know. I love broccoli. That's my favorite.
Really?
So
I've
like
never been able to get a taste for it.
I mean, it just depends. Like you basically need a green type of vegetable. Those are the best. I also eat carrots quite often, but those are more of a snack. Cause like whenever I feel like eating like a candy or whatever, I just because in my country we have something called snack vegetables. So they sell snack tomatoes, snack carrots, snack whatever you can think of that is easy to produce.
Celery's supposed to be a really good one, like for
Yeah, but I
snack, because you
then
actually
just
burn
usually
calories when you're eating that.
yeah, but I buy like snack carrots as well. So vegetable wise, I'm basically locked in. Like I'm just lazy on fruits. Like fruits are expensive. I'm just gonna be real. Fruits are expensive.
Yeah.
Like apples are still doable because obviously we grow them here ourselves. But the moment you go for strawberries and stuff like that, it's just no. Like it's just too expensive.
Yeah.
But
I
just
think it's
financially speaking, and vitamin speaking, and exercise speaking, this doesn't take a lot of effort. Like okay, yeah, I'm full body exercise 3 times per week for like an hour plus, like usually averaging 1 hour and 25 minutes. And
yeah.
I go for a walk every day. I don't go to the gym and I do yoga 7 days per week. Just doing all of these things gives you endurance, gives you power, and gives you flexibility. That's like I said, I feel amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it
wish I
certainly
did.
sounds like, but I mean, how like
Consequences, Mike,
obviously
consequences.
it's
Yeah,
quite clear that
I'm dealing with the consequences of my own actions. I'm aware.
Exactly.
it's quite clear, but
Go on,
that
Dave.
your mental health is also affected by your physical health.
Yep.
Because you're sitting there saying you feel amazing. Me and Mike, who are quite overweight, from what we've discussed, um, we feel at times quite, you know, downtrodden and overrun with illness and ailments. So it's amazing how much your mental health as well can be tied to your physical health. You know,
Just
and
this is
I
kind of the
think as well,
example I
like
like using. Like imagine a car where you never change the oil. That engine is
yeah,
probably crying.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
It's like change me now. Definitely. But I mean, you find that as well in like wintertime, if you're not getting like sun and you're not getting the right vitamins and minerals into your body, then for me, I get quite depressed and quite
Yeah, vitamin D
unhappy,
is a
sad,
crucial one. Like vitamin D is quite.
unmotivated.
It's literally linked to depression because vitamin D, like I said, it causes lack of concentration, brain fog, your sleep quality drops. These are vital things for your body to function properly. Like especially to sleep. Like if you have a
Mhm.
poor night's sleep, you're probably gonna feel like not the best version of yourself the next day, right?
Oh no,
Yeah,
I definitely feel like shit for the entire day.
yeah,
Yeah, and these type of things, like obviously vitamin D is not the cure for everything, but it's a buildup of things. Like imagine you have a symptom, like especially when I still did physiotherapy, what we were taught, like very early on, is that the thing that you're talking about is likely not the cause of the problem. So let's say, obviously there's exceptions, but more often than not, let's say you have someone that comes in with lower back pain. And that lower
right.
back pain, more often than not, comes from a very weak lower body. So that means the issue is in the lower body, but the pain is in the upper body because the back is obviously still in the upper body.
Yeah, well,
And
all
that
ties
is,
Okay.
together, doesn't it?
yeah. So like if you have weak legs, or especially like if your butt is weak, this is one of the more crucial ones. Like, because the gluteus maximus is one of the most powerful muscles in the body, if not the most powerful. And if that one is weak, like you're probably going to have like posture issues. That's one. Two is you're gonna start feeling pain, especially in later age. And three is you're gonna have like a hunchback because your body is trying to compensate. And all of these three are going to lead to issues. And then obviously if you include for that the stress that causes these parts, because pain will cause stress, right? And stress is one
Yeah,
of the biggest reasons for well, early death, so to say. Because like cancer is caused by stress, depression is caused by stress, like everything that is in the bubble of reasons for early death except for accidents, usually come from stress. Stress is not obviously the main cause in a lot of cases, but it is just there. It's like a symptom. So if you fix the
yeah,
stress issue, you're probably going to still have some stress because having some stress is natural. Like we as human beings aren't supposed to have zero stress. Like that's just reality. Like even
yeah,
in this conversation right now,
It's
we're
impossible.
experiencing some stress. What did you say?
yeah,
It's impossible to not have some stress in your life.
Exactly.
yeah. I think unless you're a psychopath or something like that, then you probably
Even
you
they have
No,
probably
even
stress.
don't.
yeah, if I can only think of one way that you would have no stress in your life. You're dead.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah,
accurate.
fair enough.
That's accurate. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
Yeah.
point there, isn't it? But I mean,
Like
in terms of what can we do to improve those muscles then that you're talking about?
it really depends. Like what I tell to my little brother, because my little brother is 11 years younger than me, is do something you enjoy doing. Do something you're capable of consistently doing. Because what I see from a lot of people is this year goal of let's just go to the gym.
Yeah,
But this is not something you're gonna do consistently. Like you're just gonna randomly do it because it's a new year goal, so to say, which I always find ridiculous. Because if it's a new year goal, it can also be a December goal. Like
I
it
was
doesn't
gonna,
stop you.
I was gonna say that. Why do it on New Year when you can do it at any point? You know.
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah,
And so that is already like issue one, like do something you will enjoy doing. So like I do bouldering, calisthenics, gym, like I do a whole package deal of things that I enjoy doing. Before I did boxing, like the strength, the endurance, and the flexibility came from me doing a sport that I actually enjoyed doing, right? Because I still
yeah,
spar from time to time, even though I quit boxing, just because in the gym that I go to, I can spar with my friend because he does actually still like try to go into fights. And
right.
that is like the baseline. Like, do something you'll enjoy doing. So if you're capable of going for a walk and listen to a podcast for 45 minutes, you're done. Like my dad, for example, he got a dog quite
Hmm.
often because the dog, well, the previous one died of cancer, so that wasn't a good time, but got a new dog. And this forces him to go outside. And the dog is so
I've been
used to the
doing that
fact
this week.
that every evening he will take him out, that the moment he picks his jacket, the dog instantly wakes up. It's like, okay, time to go. Because he
Time to
knows
go.
it's time.
Yeah.
And sometimes my dad goes for a short walk. It just depends on how much time he has. But when he has time, like he can go for long walks and he listens to a podcast on that walk. And then like during the places where he can, he just let the dog go free. So like the dog is very happy because he knows he will always have his walk, because during the day my little brother takes him out, or my mother. But like in the evening, it's always my dad. And
Yeah,
that is like a
I've been
good reason.
I've been doing this because I was looking after my brother's dog this week. Just set him back today because he got back. But took him for like 3 walks a day,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
yeah, I was always out of breath by the end of it because, you know what, I haven't quite figured this out yet, whether I'm walking him or he's walking me. Because
I would say both.
yeah, no, because you haven't seen him walk. He drags. He is eager to go places. So
He's like, come on, fat ass, let's
yeah,
go.
it's not
Pretty
even
much.
nice. Just like, oh, something there, something there. It's like, go one way, go the other way, and I'm just
Energy.
hanging on for dear life. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if who's walking who yet.
You're
Yeah.
holding him back, man.
You're
Yeah,
holding them back.
my
But I
fella.
think the
That is
important
one of
thing
the
there
things.
is,
Go on.
sorry, I was going to say the important thing that the theme throughout that is what you're saying. You go to the gym, you take dog for a walk. It's a lifestyle. It's not a New Year's
Exactly.
resolution. It's a lifestyle you have to make sure you're maintaining your weight. Because at the end of the day, when we were hunter gatherers, we didn't sit about and play computers and Xboxes all day, did we? You know what I mean? We were out there hunting
We
for
didn't even
food.
have
You know,
philosophers. Come on,
most likely
there was no
fasting.
time.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
right, even when we were hunter-gatherers, we didn't need a lot of exercise. And that is like the big point I'm trying to make. Like, you don't need a lot. Because people that go for New Year's resolution instantly burn themselves out by going to the gym and push themselves way beyond what they're capable of. When in reality, you should be doing something you're consistently capable of. And then you build that up. Like, if you actually want to become stronger, that's when you can build up. Like, for example, I don't know this in pounds, but I can do a squat of 200 kilos. This is years of build up. But it's mostly powerlifting, so if you were to see me in real life, I don't look strong. Because my body is more adapted towards powerlifting than it is towards bodybuilding. Because as a boxer, you don't need big muscles, you need flexible muscles. So I have a lot of lean muscle.
Right.
And that is what you
Okay.
want. Like, you want something
Well,
where you're.
that's a bad thing, then, isn't it? Because you'll just someone goes up expecting a fight and you just knock them out in one punch.
Yeah. Was that not
Well,
what Bruce Lee was like?
yeah,
He didn't look
that's lean
physically
muscle.
strong.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he was very lean.
yeah.
You
Like,
know.
lean muscle is more about power than it is about looking big. Like Tyson had both. Mike Tyson was someone that had both the power and the actual lean muscle in there as well. That's why his punches were so powerful. Like, he actually had like a lot of power in that body of his, because he was not a big guy. He was just so strong that it just made up for it. Whereas with Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, Arnold Schwarzenegger is someone who is pure muscle. Like, not anymore, obviously, but he can still pull weight. Like, I don't know about now, but like a few years ago, I still saw this guy do workouts of weights that makes most people feel embarrassed about themselves.
It's crazy, isn't it? Have you
Yeah,
ever
Yeah,
seen Eddie Hall?
don't mess with Granddad.
yeah, don't mess with him. He's strong, man. But
Have you ever
it's
seen
like that
Eddie Hall?
balance. Who?
Eddie Hall?
World's strongest man? Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, like the size that he's got to as well. But what I mean. But I think he has that thing, the Hercules gene or something like that, where he builds muscle at an extremely fast rate. But at one time he said he was consuming up to 30,000 calories a day to
Wouldn't surprise
maintain
me.
his shape, which is crazy. You know what I
I've
mean?
got a friend who does like intense workouts, and he's on 5,000. Like,
Wow.
you have to include height, by the way. Height actually plays a massive role that people don't understand. Like, Eddie Hall is like 2 meters something. I don't know exactly how tall he is, but he's like 7 foot, right, for you guys.
Right. That's crazy.
I mean that's
7 foot.
ridiculously gangly.
Yeah, and then if you include that with the muscle around it, so the bigger you become, it's also the length of the muscle and everything. So I'm on 3,000 calories per day. And that is just because like I am 6'4", and as someone that's 6'4", you're going to be strong if you work out a lot, and those muscles are also going to be way bigger. That's why there's weight classes in fighting sports, right? Like when you look at martial arts, the reason there are these differences is not just because of height. It's purely because someone of my height can easily KO someone of your height, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That's just physically
there's also the reach issue as well. Someone
exactly
tall
that too.
obviously has longer reach.
But it's way more powerful as well. Like if we were to fight, even if we were on equal footing, let's say power-wise, he would still just purely lose because the mass of my body. So if I were to do a hook, there's way more force in there just because my body is bigger.
Yeah.
There's those
Yes.
little details you really pay attention, and that requires more calories because you're bigger. You require more, like your organs are bigger, your heart is stronger, like everything is just bigger. Bigger is not necessarily better because the taller you are, there is a higher risk of dying early just because the heart needs to do more work.
Tell that to a Texan.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
I'm being silly.
we've got a saying here, you know, the bigger you are, the harder you fall at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But
yeah, but
for
I
the-
like
think no,
we,
I think they mean that for height more than anything else, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
like in the Netherlands especially, like cycling culture does help a lot when it comes to keeping ourselves, because the Netherlands on average is one of the tallest countries on the planet, right? And that combination is just having a healthy culture around cycling really makes it so that it is a bit easier to make sure people kind of have a healthy life because more often than not people will choose the bicycle over the car just because of the infrastructure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that brings you to another issue, especially for England and Scotland, right? Like your countries are not that bigger than mine. Like yeah, they're bigger, we're not that much bigger, right? And when it comes to like, yeah, my country's flat, but we have electric bikes now, e-bikes. So the excuse of the fact that we're flat is also gone. At that stage, it becomes to the point. So what stops you from actually taking an e-bike in order to go to work, or places like go to the supermarket? Some people will say the weather, but I'd be like, yeah, I have shit weather too. Like, come on. Like sometimes there's with I don't have an e-bike by the way. I have a normal bike, and when the wind is like windkracht 7, so wind power 7, I don't have a good time. It's awful. And when it's raining, yeah, I don't have a good time. It's awful. You just deal with it. That's just what you do. You just accept that, yeah, this is just how it is right now. You use an umbrella or you use a poncho, you adapt, right?
Yeah.
When I hear a lot of people say, like, oh, the Netherlands is unique with these type of things, like a healthy culture, especially around cycling, isn't unique. It used to be because we were flat, but we solved that problem with an e-bike. Like, I'm assuming both of you know where an e-bike is, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
actually don't.
So
Do you
an
not?
e-bike is a bicycle with like a battery on it, which makes it so that it helps you in paddling whenever you're going forward. So, for example, you have
Oh,
gears on it.
no, actually, no. Oh, okay, no. My mum had one of those, right? I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. So, like when you go up a hill, you can just switch gears and you will get a lot of assistance going up that hill. So the intensity remains the same, but you're still climbing up a hill, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you're still getting the resistance of the hill.
Yes. So, like, you can make it difficult for yourself, or you can make it easy for yourself. Because, like, for example, Denmark and Norway have tried a lot to do cycling culture around it, and one of the things that you saw was an increase in e-bike culture, but also like assistance in hills, stuff like that. But e-bikes solves that problem instantly,
Right.
and that's kind of like
everyone's getting electronic. Now. You've got like e-scooters now. Like I
no,
remember when
not
I
these
was a kid.
scooters. You need an actual cycling one.
Yeah, no. I'm just thinking though, like a bit of a tangent. It's
Right.
you get it's like you get an e-scooter and it just drives you around. And it's like, well, what's the point of having a scooter then? You know, you when I was a kid, you had to actually push yourself on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also for costs,
Yes.
right? Because if you think about it, like if we actually get our asses together and make sure that we solve the electricity problem within Europe, so that means energy or like perovskite kristallen for sun power. Like it just depends on which direction we're going in. So we don't need oil anymore. Like it could actually mean that charging an e-bike is just way more valuable than, like, for example. And then, sure, there
Yeah.
will be electric scooters, but then having the alternative of having something that kind of gives you to burn some calories and stuff like that, but also the movement of your legs does make it so that your muscles in themselves are active. So that there's
Yeah.
like not too much power, maybe, but you can degree it, right? Especially for elderly, because elderly is going to struggle like being in public when it comes to like cycling and stuff. But if they have an e-bike, it just makes it so that even people with weak knees can go forward.
Yeah.
So it's a
Exactly.
cultural thing as well for health.
I think as well, like, you know, with cycling especially, these batteries could be charged with kinetic energy, you know, from you actually cycling and the energy getting built back up in the battery.
I
So, you know,
mean,
these
yeah,
things can go a long way towards renewable energies as well, you know, on the back of, you know, not just keeping you fit, but also keeping the environment good.
Maybe on a personal level, but can you see people just pedaling to charge up an entire house for a day? I think that's going to be a little bit more than what a person on a bike can do. Even
some
if you get
people
the
might try.
entire family. I mean, yeah, some
Yeah.
people would try, but unless it's like you live in bare bones, you're not gonna be able to power the needs of an entire house.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like with a lot of the green options now, with
Mhm.
with the exception of nuclear, they're just not good enough for the demand.
Yeah, at the moment, but I mean, battery technology is still to progress a lot, you know, and I think
Oh yeah.
more so now that people are becoming aware that the environment is being affected by electronics, batteries are becoming forefront of technological advancements,
Yep.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
you got to realize as well though that, I mean, even if you go green, there's still an environmental impact. I mean, you've got to, like, what if you
Yeah,
do underground battery farms for the solar farms? That's going to have an ecological impact. So just saying it's green doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be free of environmental impact. But a lot of people don't conveniently skip that part. So there's more to it. The greenest one would probably be the peddling one, like you said. But I don't see a lot of people doing that, especially people
Yeah.
on the body positivity train.
mm,
Especially with green energy itself, like it does bring up a good point because we have done an enormous amount of e-waste in the past 15 years because of delusions. Like, I'm assuming you both know Moore's law, right?
yeah,
No,
yeah. That's where it's becoming to the point where the tech can't advance anymore, or it progresses at a
That's not
slower
Moore's
rate.
law.
no,
Is it not? Okay,
That's Poe's law. I think he's
okay.
no,
Moore's law is that
I think
every few years technology increases to such a point that we like skip entire generations of R&D. So with
Okay.
solar energy, for example, the solar panels that we created 15 years ago and we started rolling out massively for no reason whatsoever except for like filling people's pockets has caused an enormous amount of e-waste because, well, they're broken now, or they're worthless now, or they're being replaced now, and they can't go anywhere. So where do they go? The garbage belts.
Yeah. Well, don't
Mm,
forget as well, you got one thing like with wind power. You got a lot of
Oh yeah,
people hopping over, like, but like, what keeps those wings turning? Oil. They're very they're very reliant on fossil fuels. So
yep,
if you go with like a lot of these do still require. I mean, what is it, like a lot of the rare earth minerals as well, which go into solar, or lithium batteries, and like there's a lot of you might say, oh, it's not it's not using fossil fuels. I mean, it's not directly using fossil fuels, but it's still reliant on it. So it's all the green stuff isn't as good as people say. It's I think people have been sold a lie on that one.
no,
But
they are. Like my
yeah,
opinion was more in direction of we need to do R&D, which means you roll out a small portion of it to see if it works, and then you keep developing on it, and you keep going down instead of doing these massive rollouts that they did. Like they did billion projects that are now becoming obsolete already. Like think about
well
the North Sea project that we did.
they're doing it again. Like
Yeah,
like the UK government's been saying they're rolling out a ton of green options now.
yeah,
Like
Union too.
they're gonna yeah, they're gonna do a massive amount of wind and solar farms, and it's like, well, yeah, they're not gonna once this kind of like fad dies down, and once people realize that it's not the promised planet savior that people think it's gonna be, you're gonna have a ton of green energy farms which are not fit for purpose.
Yeah, like I genuinely wonder if we are actually going to hold these people accountable because they're throwing away money that's not theirs for consequences that are also not there. It's literally a pyramid scheme for the next generation. It's like, yeah, we're going to cause all these problems, and you're just going to pay for it.
I mean, they've been
Mm.
getting away with it for bloody decades now. I think what's going to happen is the people responsible are probably going to get away with it, but they will probably be quietly shoved out of office for people who will actually try and get the job done. So
Who
yeah,
knows?
but it's kind of going to be like an agreement. So it's like, okay, you guys could get away with it, but you're not being anywhere near the power anymore. You've proven that you're not suitable for it, and then
But it's the same for health,
they'll
right?
just think, oh, yeah.
Because with health as well,
Well,
like, sure, processed food is easy to be obtained. But when you think about it, like, especially in America, but in the United Kingdom and Netherlands as well, like Scotland, for example, the national drink that you get, the beverage, is one of the most unhealthy things that there is. But you're so proud of it because, well, made in Scotland. I'm like, yeah, Heineken is made in the Netherlands as well, and we don't want that either. Like,
Yeah,
it's one of those
a big
things.
difference between alcohol, but and that. But yeah, I know where you're coming from, and I think, but there's so much reliance on processed food now. You know, going back to what the point I made earlier. I think because of budget constraints, because of people's time working directive, a convenience meal is just easier for people, and people with
it's the
big families as
convenience.
well.
It's the
I wouldn't even
convenience.
say it's convenience. Like, it's more like, obviously laziness is part of it, but it's culture itself, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a habit.
Like,
It was born of convenience. It still is convenience, but we are just so used to it. It is just habit now.
yeah, but
Mm.
that's what I mean with culture shifts. Like, the food can come to your house, so why bother?
Yeah, exactly. And when you get services like Just Eat and things like that, it's just
Yep.
it's death chatting at your door essentially, because you're not even getting up to hunt for your, or not hunt for your food,
And
to go for your
Well,
food
no,
now.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I'm hunting through the menu for what I'm going to be getting.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
But
I
I'm not
mean,
talking about the fact,
What's
like,
gonna
even
happen now?
I
supermarkets
mean,
now, right? Because
I mean,
supermarkets as well have these delivery services now where people are just up just
yeah.
to throw all of it in there, and you can choose the healthy food in a supermarket, but they will still choose the other one
Mm-hmm.
I
just out
know
of
I've been
convenience.
choosing the healthy ones. At least I'm trying to, because I'm trying to make an effort to.
Yeah, but I'm generalization, right? This is a
Yeah.
generalization for this.
But I mean, this all comes off the back of greed at the end of the day, and corporate greed, especially.
Yeah, but I don't agree
Because
with
these.
that. Like, it's so
It's. I
easy
mean,
to blame corporations.
it's no. It's a mix. I mean, they are
Yeah,
obviously
it's
trying to
mix.
make
Yeah,
money,
that I agree
but
with. Mix.
yeah, but we are the ones who provide the demand for it. So society as a whole is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Again, it is so easy to just blame somebody else, but you have got to take your own thing. That's why I say I don't blame anyone else for me being a lazy bastard. I made no one made me, no one incentivized me to be a lazy bastard. I was just a lazy bastard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of like
Um,
that feeling of like, you understand deep down that things aren't just black and white. Like, right now, I'm studying international management, and I will start international business in September. And the things that I've already learned so far is the way corporations work is quite literally supply and demand.
yeah.
Like, your entire business model gets created around supply and demand. Like, what do you offer that your competition doesn't offer? And how do you get a profit so that you can stay in the market? Not necessarily for a monopoly at first. Like, some people do get a monopoly eventually, but it's more to stay in a position of, like, well, having a wins margin. So for most companies, they will just be like, yeah, frozen
There is,
pizzas are a good thing. Okay, and then frozen pizzas it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
once in a while is good, but yeah, don't make it a habit.
No, I mean for corporations. Like, they will make
Oh
frozen
right,
pizzas because people buy them. Like, if you don't buy them, they're just gonna sell them anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. There
It's
is right.
on the
There is.
subject of pizza. There's a chain here, Domino's Pizza. You probably know
Oh, I know what
and
point you're gonna make,
do,
Mike.
do you know
Never heard of
do you
it.
know how much they actually buy their pizza dough for, and how much they sell it for? It's
They
ridiculous.
buy for dirt cheap. That I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
like
It's
buy it
a,
for
so
a
cheap.
they buy it for
pound,
pennies.
and they sell it for like £20. So
Yep.
it's like a
Yeah.
two thousand
There's
percent markup on it.
well, they make money and people are willing to pay for it. But
Yeah.
I've just put a thing on the server.
Yeah, I know what point you're gonna make.
Well, no. There's a thing on the server though. Yeah, that's also part of the problem.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like the point, right? Like when it comes to even in my field, right? Like when you walk into a doctor's office, like let's say a dietitian, and the person doesn't look like that person should be a dietitian, you're going
Yep.
to lose any respect for the person on the spot.
No,
Yes.
that's exactly what I'm talking about with that picture. It's like I do not
I
trust
know.
that
That's why I'm
person.
saying. That's why I'm saying. Like you're putting it there because I know exactly what point you're going to be making here.
Yeah.
And
How
it's
can
the
you
same in my
explain
current
that?
field. Like someone that's the minister of health, but doesn't show that that person should be the minister of health, and it's just there as a DEI hire. Yeah, I have issues with that. Like
It
you are
is.
not lecturing me about health when you look like that. Like I'm sorry, like it's not your place. I don't care what education you have at that point because you can't even preach
Yeah,
what you speak. Right? Like you
you can't.
are not the
You might.
embodiment of it.
Yeah, you might know the theory, but but you definitely don't know. You definitely don't know the practical
Yeah.
side.
How
Yep,
can you look after how can you look after others when you can't look after yourself, kind of thing?
exactly.
Yeah, you're in charge of that. Well, you're in charge of the health of the entire nation, and you look like you've just gorged yourself on some of the Domino's pizza that Dave mentioned.
Yeah, it's just something that I think, like, when it comes to culture, right? Like, because the main thing that I've been attacking, this isn't not just today's podcast, but every single podcast we've done, is culture itself. Like, we've allowed our cultures to be like this. Like, it goes much deeper, but like every single topic that we're going across, in the end, is a cultural thing. Because if you think about music and you think about music in the United Kingdom, you can think about the Rolling Stones. Like, it's very easy to find these type of bands, but then the other side you can also find the side of like the bands that sing about sex, drugs, and alcohol. And then it's the point, okay, like what are you normalizing? And it's the same with health. We normalized processed food. We normalized getting our food delivered to our house. We've normalized so many things that we have caused this problem ourselves. Like the corporations, the capitalistic system that a lot of people complain about, operate entirely on supply and demand. They don't care about anything else. They just care about the numbers.
Hmm.
That is their only purpose. So if you're overweight, that is a number that they don't care about for once.
Yeah.
But there are companies that do care about that, and they will make advantage of you because, like, for example, I have a sister, a little sister, and a mother. Obviously, they're women. I have seen these women do quote unquote diets for at least 80% of my life with a 0% success rate.
Damn.
I
Because
mean,
every single time they go to a diet, this is one of the first things that's what we spoke about at the start, right? Health. When it comes to health, it's consistency. When I talk about you need to do something you enjoy, it's about something you're consistently able to enjoy. If you're going to choose a shitty book another woman wrote and you're going to pretend you're going to follow that lifestyle, then by the time you're done with the quote unquote diet and you've lost your weight, you're going to go back to your old lifestyle and you gain your weight again. Congratulations, you've done
that
absolutely nothing.
yeah, it's like you've bought yourself a few months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
What
yo-yo
what
effect, and you see it most often with women.
what about I mean, you hear about big pharma in the States that, you get these weight loss drugs and they're selling them to people, but do you think that they want to keep people fat so they can keep on making their
Well,
pockets fat?
this is
I
just another
I
thing for supply and demand. Like
I
you've
was gonna
gotten
say
your ass fat, and we're going to sell you something that makes it so that the very chemicals that make you hungry go away. That's quite literally what that medication does. Like it is a medication with the sole purpose of trying to make you lose weight.
Yes.
it's
Does it
it's
work? No.
it's to treat a symptom, not the cure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Denmark is not trying to keep you fat because Denmark, the company in Denmark is the one that made it, and they're not trying to keep you fat. They just know there is a demand for people to lose weight, and they supplied something that can potentially help you lose that weight. But in reality, you shouldn't be that weight in the first place.
Are you talking about Eli Lilly?
Huh?
But
Is Eli Lilly? Is that the company you're talking about?
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, no,
For who make the
Eli Lilly's a
Manjaro?
pharmaceutical company, but I
Ah,
don't know what you're talking about either.
Sorry. Just in terms of the drugs, like for Manjaro, Ozempic, and things like that. Eli Lilly are the ones who kind of manufacture it, so I was
what?
wondering if they were from
No,
Denmark.
Ozempic is made by Novo Nordisk, man.
All right, is it? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like I'm talking about Denmark, right? Like Denmark is the one that invented Ozempic, and they're called Novo Nordisk, as far as I know. Like,
Okay.
Mm,
I was thinking the other one, Manjaro. There's a few out there. There's Manjaro, there's Wegovy as well, but they're also talking now that they're going to be able to get tablets of these drugs
could
that
be.
help the GLP-1 get thingied around your body. But yeah, yeah, as you said, it's just another tool. But you have to actually build the lifestyle around that tool. You can't just
And not
expect,
even that. You
well,
cannot take medication for the rest of your life. That's not good.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Except
exactly.
for people with
But
diabetes, obviously.
yeah, there is people as well, but that get serious complications from these drugs, like pancreatitis and things like that as well. So,
Yeah, we
you
don't even
know,
know the long-term effects. Like right
exactly.
now, the medication is rolled out and they have done their due diligence, but even then, we don't know, like, let's say 20 years effects. They
Hmm.
don't have the data for that. They just have enough data
Yeah,
to justify it being federally approved.
yeah.
And in
There's
that
also
sense, go on.
there's evidence right now as well when people are coming off it, their appetite's coming back with a strength. And like a lot of people who go on these drugs, right? And this is my belief: people who are going on these drugs, and I'm on the drug myself, yeah. So this is coming from experience. People who
Hmm.
go on these drugs don't build up the habits to then come off the drug healthily. So then they just fall back into the same routines that made them fat in the first place. And that is the real crux of the matter. Okay, yeah, the drug, when you come off it, it might make you more hungrier. But if you've got the habits in place to make sure you're not overeating, then you should be able to combat that, right?
I'll give you an even better example. An example that's way older than this. It's people who get a bypass operation. So people that are so fat, they will cut away a piece of your stomach because they can.
Hmm.
And even if you, like, for some cases, it does work, right? Because the stomach can't hold as much anymore. So by that logic, you shouldn't be able to eat as much, right?
Yeah,
But more often than not, statistically speaking, these people still live a lifestyle that is unhealthy. Like removing a piece of the stomach in an attempt to make you eat less doesn't solve the fundamental problem of the person who's living that lifestyle. There are
yeah,
exceptions, obviously, but more often than not, similar with Ozempic, it's going to be the exact same case where you do it with good intention because these doctors are professionals that went to years and years of med school and like training and everything in order to do better for people, only to consistently face people that don't actually want change, they just want to cheat. Because
yes.
that's essentially what this is. A pill is a cheat, a surgery is a cheat. And like all of these things are just cheats in order to pretend that you don't have personal accountability.
Yes, absolutely. But I think to a degree, okay, yeah, Manjaro is a tool to help you get there. It, it isn't cheating as long as you are building the healthy lifestyle around it to make sure that
I
when you
mean,
come off it, then
you can
you're
you
set.
can use the tool. Yeah, I mean, you can use the tool, but you've got to make you've
The
got to
fundamental
make the
change.
effort to, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not treating the actual symptom, then if you're only treating the symptom, then that's fine. But if you're not treating the actual cause, it's you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
It's
And
basically
I think
don't
to
treat
relate
it like a crutch. As long as you don't treat it like a crutch, you'll get there. It's something
exactly.
that will aid, and then once you're done, you can go further. Like eventually you need to quit the medication. That's what it comes down to. And then without the medication, you should be able to maintain.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be able to, you know. But we'll wait. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the next few years hold with this medication and as more research get done. Because I think now a lot of people are just taking it as a weight loss drug. And I met somebody who did it for that sake and ended up developing uh, diabetes from it because her pancreas failed. So because she went on it for a weight loss treatment, she actually developed diabetes from it, which is crazy. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was developed more or less for people with diabetes. That's the reason why it was developed to help control sugar levels. But because of the side effect that it helps you lose weight, that's why a lot of people go into it.
Yeah. I mean, personally speaking, I just feel like in our society, not just in the West, but like in all societies, people just want a free ticket. They want a cheat. They want something that gets them a level ahead without the effort. Like when it comes to especially how the West operated in the past 50 years, things haven't really gone according, quote unquote, to plan, right? Like a lot of
Mhm.
things with the utopian thinking that never works out, because utopian thinking, even like as Dostoevsky says, utopian thinking usually leads to an even worse evil than just trying to be humane and just accepting that things are not going to be perfect, but we should be able to create something that is maybe not perfect, but at least works. But
Yeah.
the previous generations have said that that is not possible. We should be able to make an utopian Earth, and our children are precious, and like children get raised to such a point where they get everything. Because personally speaking, I consider a child that is obese child abuse. That is personally, from my experience, what I consider that, because I was obese as a child. Like when I went to my weight loss journey when I was 18, like all it took me was I moved out, I went for a walk, and I drank water, and I lost 50 kilos in 1 year. That's all it took me.
That's really good.
But the issue is, I shouldn't even be in that position in the first place because I was a child. Why am I as a child that fat? That is the real question here. Like, obviously, there can be exceptions because some people have genetically just certain issues. But the fat in my family is not a genetic issue. It's just like, yeah, we are eating extremely unhealthy. Like, we have Coca Cola for dinner. Like, we sometimes, not sometimes, we quite often turn like the oven on for some pizza, or like fries and stuff like that with absolutely zero effort. And that comes from like a family where because I live with my dad and my parents are like divorced. He lived with a woman who didn't even work.
Right.
So this woman could cook just fine because she is not doing anything the whole day anyway. And we're still eating junk all the time. That just goes to show you, like, this goes much deeper than what we're talking about, because what you learn in your family situation is something you take forward, right? And then from then on, you develop. And if I were to use my like lifestyle and look at others, most people are not going to be capable of doing what I did, and then consistently maintain it and be very strict with it and like having a life around it. Because I have cheat days. I like food. I love food. Like, I use seasoning on all my food. I don't care about my body fat percentages, because my whole point was I want to be fit, I want to be strong, I want to be flexible, but I still want to enjoy life. So I still eat like from the air
You can
fryer.
do you can do both. You just need to find
The
your
balance.
balance. Yeah.
Exactly. And that is
One of the things that people take it to extremes. I mean, with me being lazy, it's like it's okay to take it easy once in a while, but I just literally put my feet up all the time and was actually lazy. I took it to an extreme. I've got to claw my way back from that now. So you've got to say, you've got to find the way it works for you. I mean, because every person's different. You're going to get some people who will be much better off by going for a run every day, or going to the gym, or doing it to your level, Dominic, where you're going through all sorts of stuff you're doing something every day at least, except
yep.
you said except for the weekend, was it?
No, I do every day.
Oh, every day then. Yeah, and you get some people who only do it like 2 or 3 times a week. As long as it's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, but as well, you've got to need to want to do it. And a lot of people sit there and don't want to do it because they're afraid they might fail, I think. Maybe that's coming from a personal level,
No, I
you
don't think
know?
failure is like a main drive. I think dopamine addiction is like probably the biggest
I, I'd
reason.
I'd say I'd say it's that, but it's more likely to be the dopamine one because you've got people like look at people who do all this cope stuff, like the body positivity movement, for example. They're going out of the way to make excuses to not do it.
Yep.
And it's one of the things why I respect my uncle's opinion because he's fat. I mean, he's obese,
Right.
but he makes no bones about it. He just says, "No, I just like food." It's like I can at least respect. I can at least respect the honesty there. He knows he's doing a bad thing, but he doesn't care. He's like, "No, it's. Um, I'm just gonna do it because I like doing it. And, damn the consequences." I'm like, fair enough. But then you get all these other people like, "Oh, I'm not fat, I'm big boned, or I've got all these problems,
The
or
new
it's
speak.
somebody, it's yeah,
Literally what George
it's
Orwell warned
somebody,
about.
yeah, it's somebody else's fault, or I just can't do it." It's like all the food's too addictive. It's like no, you've got to take the responsibility for it yourself because until you do that, you're not gonna do it. Which is why I've been trying to pull my ass. Off out of the chair now and again, going for a run or for a walk or something, and I'm now doing my own meal prep because it's much healthier than the lifestyle I was living a few months ago.
Yeah.
But a funny thing is, I started doing it around the time we started doing doing this podcast. It's complete
Timing.
coincidence, but I mean, it has worked to a point. Well, at least until I ruined it over Christmas because I was
Yeah, but Christmas
because
is one of
everyone.
those moments in the whole year where it's okay, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where I
Yeah.
always I like I've completely ruined it, but I can start again. So
Yeah.
I've not lost progress. I'm back to where I was
But
when I
that's
started.
the
But
important
it's a
thing, right?
start.
See if you do have that off day where you lose it. So quote unquote, it's important that you just go, right, okay, that's fine. One off day is fine. Let's just go to the next day and we'll get on with it. And I see you put fat bastard there in the
I
chat.
was just thinking about the attitude, and I was like, Austin Powers is fat bastard. That attitude of he doesn't care, he just wants to eat.
You know what? I didn't want to say that. We were talking before about that lady in that documentary I was talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
it made me think of that. But I was like, you know, but
yeah.
it was like the scene. This is from before Austin Powers, though.
But it's
I
just
think
funny. Like I just thought about it, and I was like, "Yep,
it's you know and exercising, but as well when you get that motivation to actually start and do something, it's amazing how much different you feel, and from me starting doing what I've done as well and getting out walking, just the
Mm,
difference it's made in my mental health as well. I feel a lot more capable. And Dominic, you when you were talking to me the other day, you said my breathing sounds a lot better. I sound a lot healthier, which is, after just a few short weeks, that's amazing, how much of a difference it can make, um, just by doing the right things and treating your body correctly, you know?
yeah." I guess the little things. Like another thing is also habit creation. Like when you do something for like 6 weeks, so let's say you're doing something you actually are capable of doing consistently for 6 weeks. So let's say you hit the gym or you go for a walk, your body actually starts craving it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
let's say you get sick for like a week. After that week, your body's gonna be like, so are we still doing this? Because the way your brain works is that it accumulates certain resources and it understands we're supposed to be doing certain things right now. And when you don't give it what it's expecting, your brain's gonna be like, so we have these resources, are we gonna use them? Or like what's going on? Like that's literally how the brain and body work. Like we create these habits so that over a long period of time, your body just gets used to it, your brain gets used to it, the resources are there, so that you're just capable of doing it without thinking. That's what happens with me. Like at some point, I was just on such an autopilot that I didn't have to think about going to the gym or anything anymore because my body was like, "Yeah, we have the resources. Go."
yep. I mean, your body actually changes its fat burning method to suit your lifestyle. So, I mean, if you are more on the way of active, your body will burn off carbs first before it goes into your fat reserves, and then it will
Not quite my
automatically
point.
switch to your fat reserves.
Like I'm more
I
talking
don't
about
know. I've
research. Like there was a few researchers that they did. They researched tribes and they researched people that are in offices. So with
Mhm.
a tribe, especially a hunter-gathering tribe, right? Like in I think it was in the Amazon. If I remember, it's been a while since I read these articles, but it came down to the point that the brain, generally speaking, keeps an accumulation of calories available per day. And you
Right.
can go over that if you have savings, obviously, with fat. But generally speaking, your body is going to unconsciously make it so that where you are exerting more energy, in other places you're going to exert less energy. So
Right.
for people losing weight, for example, they the brain will be at such a point where it's like, all right, you're doing all these activities. So let's say you're going to the gym out of nowhere and exploding, we're going to be on cooldown for the rest of the week. So that means you are going to be more fatigued. You're going to have less energy available for standing and sitting. Like what you see often is that these people will then become couch potatoes for a while because they just have done their exercise. They think they've done a good job, and now they're rewarding themselves with television. When unconsciously there's something more going on, because what's actually going on is that the brain is like, you've done too much. You're just going to sit on the couch now. And that's why I quite often would say, like, you need to treat your brain like a dog because it's just going to make excuses all the time. You have to give it treats. And if you don't give it treats, it's going to be
I've
upset.
fallen for that so many times.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
What you've described. I mean,
Yeah, but this is scientifically proven. Like we know for a fact that the hunter-gathering tribes, who are supposed to be a lot more physically active due to the fact of what they are supposed to be doing, and the person sitting in a crucible all day, working in an office, doing a white-collar job, they have the exact same calorie accumulation. So that means for a man up to 2,500 calories, right? And this is entirely because the brain designs your day around the phases of this is kind of what we're expecting you to do today, and this is kind of like what we're going to be expecting for you to do tomorrow. And based on this information, we're going to give you the accumulation of these type of resources. And if you go over this or you're going to do unexpected things, we're going to just shut down and start saving energy in places where you consciously are not aware of, but is unconsciously happening.
So it's like your body's just working against you all
Your brain
stages
is.
almost.
Your brain is.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why
right.
losing weight is so difficult because most often people go into it with this extreme thought process of like, bam, all in. When in reality, you should be doing a habit build up, giving your brain the ideas of like, we're doing this. And if you don't like it, man, we're going to do this anyway because you're still in charge, right? You're still the pilot of your body. It's just the brain is a subconscious mechanism that makes sure that you don't die. Because if you
Yeah,
had to manually think about your organs functioning, your heart's functioning, not a good time, right?
yeah. Well, you wouldn't build a temple in a day, would you? Really?
Exactly.
So that's I guess the best analogy I could give there is, I mean, you've got to do it slowly. You've got to make sure the constructs are there before you actually go all in.
Yeah, build the foundation before you
Build
build
the
the house.
foundation. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Um,
And
you
that's
know,
scientifically proven, what I just said about that. These are actual scientific documents that you can get into. It's been a long time already, still. It might be even updated by now, but well, we do know for a fact that the calories that a hunting gathering tribe uses and the calories someone that works in a chair all day, exact same. Just because the
that's
brain has
crazy.
calorie accumulation and it decides what you're gonna do. So someone in a white office job could be like having some extra energy here and there to do certain things, but overall, the exact same amount of calories required for someone that is hunting for food.
That's crazy. You would always think it would be more in that level, you know what I mean? But
That's why they did research, right? The entire reason they
yeah.
did that research is because they were like expecting the hunter-gathering tribes to require more calories,
Hmm.
especially the more physical power one, right? Because there's a lot of tribes where the men are already built like units.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is, it's a reality. Like people with a lot more muscle require more. Like I require 2,000 calories per day because I'm a strong person and I'm tall.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
just means I need more calories to function. Like as I get older, I will most likely require less calories, but it won't really change the reality.
yeah.
And
Um,
generally speaking, when it comes to health, this is what we're looking for. Like we're looking for balance in vitamins, but also endurance and like physical strength and mentality is then something like if you've done all these things and there's still physical, not mental problems, then there's actual things to tackle, right? But if you haven't even done these things and there's also mental problems, I'm going to be real. You need to fix the other first before you can do the mental side.
yeah,
mm,
yeah. But sometimes being physically fit as well can help with the mental fitness,
Yep.
because I think if you're not fit enough to do things, then it's definitely going to be a deterrent on your mental health. You're
Yep.
going to feel,
It's a
like
cycle.
for me, who is a big person, I feel embarrassed to go places because I think people will be looking at me, and probably rightfully so. They should look at me because I've
That's
got to that
conscious
point
though.
where
Like it's scientifically proven that people don't actually look at you. It's just your brain is making a big deal out
yeah,
of it. Most often enough, people don't care. Like they've
yeah,
got their own lives. They don't care about you.
yeah, yeah,
well,
true,
everyone's got some degree of protagonist syndrome.
Exactly. Like
yeah,
the things that you're worrying about from 20 years ago in middle school, nobody remembers except for you. Those
probably,
type of things. No,
yeah,
definitely. It's just the way we are. Like the brain, with memory especially, we don't have the capacity to memorize other people's lives, especially when we already meet so many people. Big events definitely get memorized because it's a big event, right? But like
yeah,
small things, like stupid things that you've done, you might remember because you felt like a fool, but everyone else is not going to remember unless it was like a big deal.
yeah,
True.
true, very true. So what do you think is I guess the main point then of tonight's episode? What would you take away from tonight's episode, if anything?
Get off your
Get off
fat
your
ass
ass and get
and
fed. Yeah, great minds.
do some consistent work for yourself. And also the research that I noted, that is something you should keep in mind as well. The calories, that's a real thing. Like it is
Yeah.
actually scientifically proven that when it comes to your body's movement, you have a certain budget. And whenever you like exceed this budget, your body will just save the energy elsewhere by, for example, making you sit all day or like making you spend less energy going somewhere, or like if you were to be invited for a social event that day, your brain will unconsciously be like, let's not go. And then you listen to that unconscious thought and you don't go. Like it's all
You
these
make
little details
excuses.
where you don't even notice because obviously social events do spend calories.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Especially when you're thinking of what to say.
Yeah, like it's not an enormous amount, but like it still happens, and your brain will go into power saving mode when you've exceeded your daily budget.
Yeah. It
You
makes
just don't know.
sense. Yeah. It's fight or flight really, isn't it? In a sense.
No, that's something completely
No?
different.
Okay, fair enough.
Fight or flight is whether or not you want to survive. It's a survival instinct.
Yeah, but does your brain not automatically go to that instinct if it feels
No, there are so
threatened
many
or
different
betrayed?
stages your brain has. Like this is just more of a maintenance instinct.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Like we have this amount of calories, this is kind of what we're gonna do with it. And if you had to manually do it, obviously you would go crazy because there's too many things to, like your muscles need like resources, your bones definitely need some, your ligaments need some, your organs need some. Like there's too much going on in your body that your brain doesn't autopilot because it would be too much for you to handle.
Mm, right. Okay. It's
So
crazy.
basically, to take anything from this, like it comes down to take care of yourself. Like, sure, you can be a communist and blame the corporations, but it gets you nothing. If anything, communism has proven to be the most evil thing ever created, with over 150 million maximum around that by now. But communism is still around in North Korea, for example. Like, communism is not the way. Communism is just a reaction. Whereas with capitalism, like, I understand the problems with capitalism. Capitalism is kind of like a beast that devours everything.
And
That is
needs to
also not good.
stop.
That's why we need laws to constrain the beast, so to say. Like in the end, it
Mm,
comes down to personal accountability, and like if you look at the politicians, especially in health, European Union, for what it's worth, has done like a pretty good job compared to America when it comes to like food laws, because most of America's food is illegal over here, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at the very least, we got that going for us.
The FDA will pass anything really, as long as it's as long as you don't get poisoned off it. Well,
No, I
I'll
mean,
use poisoned loosely.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was
but
about to say like
as long as you don't drop dead straight away from it, then it's fine. You
that's
can
probably the
assume.
best way, yeah. If you die long term, it is what it is. But I mean, if you don't die right away, good enough.
Yeah.
Like in that sense, we have done our not really our due diligence. We're trying in that sense. That's kind of like what you're supposed to be doing, right? Like these laws to at least try to do the best for your people.
Yeah.
And that is on the
Yeah.
people themselves, like to take care of it. Like if you yourself are just going to order food all the time, going to eat out all the time, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah.
And your brain
So
likes dopamine and food, especially processed food. Your brain happy.
it's dopamine. Yeah, especially if you eat like a bit of chocolate, you just get that
I
rush,
mean, I
that
was gonna say
sugar rush.
alcohol, man. Like you people drink way too much alcohol, but alcohol has
Well,
so
I
many
don't drink
calories
any
in it.
alcohol. I do not drink any alcohol,
Yeah,
believe it or not.
but I'm talking about Britain. This is a generalization, and you people
Yeah.
drink a enormous amount of beer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's
Well,
something
that's
that
what
I
you
heard
drink.
the other day. Like drinking is taking happiness away from tomorrow.
Yeah. And it's the funny thing is it's just a drug, isn't it? That it's you see all these
It's not
drugs
really
that
a
get
drug.
banned,
It's
like
yeast.
cocaine and stuff like that. But alcohol's way more dangerous than like cocaine.
No,
In
but it's just the amount of calories in there is insane.
Yeah.
Like you can look at a shot of whiskey and be like, it looks small, but in reality, there's like hundreds of calories in that small little bottle, a small little glass of whiskey.
Jack Daniels, a wee bourbon.
Oh yeah,
It's
those
like
have so much calories, man.
yeah.
But yeah,
Sambuca and
that's
all that as well.
basically
It's Coke.
That's the takeaway.
You're just consuming a lot of calories, and then as well as that, when you do take alcohol, you're actually dehydrating your body anyway as well.
Yep.
So it's like a double whammy, you know,
Or
a
sugared
lot of
water like
calories.
Coca-Cola, 7-Up, like Fanta, whatever it's called.
Iron
Yeah,
Brew.
Iron
I brew
Brew. Yeah. Like it's all those things.
Scotland's
It's
national drink.
easy, but to consume. But like everyone calls it capitalism, but like Iron Brew, it's okay, yeah. You people made it your own national drink. Why are you blaming the
Mhm.
corporations?
It is phenomenal, but you need to try it.
Yeah.
You do need to
But on
try
that
it.
note, today's episode about health for once. This episode of the podcast is sponsored by my book, We Stand on the Shoulders of Titans, Amnesia.